Hi there, my name is Pete Mashinski and I am Kelsey's dad. I've been teaching high school juniors for 31 years. Kelsey asked me to talk to you about how COVID has changed my job. So here we go. The date was Friday, February 28th, 2020, and I was in my least favorite teacher duty ever, the dreaded lunch duty. But it was Friday, the one day you can handle anything administration and the kids throw at you. This day was special though. The flu had been going around and our students were dropping like flies. On this particular Friday, 704 students were absent across grades 9 through 12. In a building of almost 3,000 students, the number of absences was not only highly noticeable, but quite honestly, it was awesome. Our school is overcrowded, but this day there was a noticeable calmness throughout the building. Less bodies equal less problems. 2 weeks later, on March 13th, COVID shut us down. That was it. Kids left and teachers were allowed to return to school on Monday, March 16th to gather materials needed to teach from home. There were family things my wife and I had to take care of. How do you assure your kids that they'll be okay? We had to get Kelsey out of Montgomery County and home with us. School-wise, we had a 2-week break to prepare for online teaching, and ultimately, we finished the 4th marking period through remote learning. The entire summer was one of uncertainty. I didn't know if we were coming back to school in August, and I certainly didn't know how to teach online. Our district worked triple time to develop a hybrid plan that would allow us to teach face-to-face. So on August 24th, 2020, we returned to school. Kids were split into an A, B, and virtual group. A comes to school Monday and Tuesday, B comes Thursday and Friday, and virtual Zooms with us twice a week. Simply put, I teach face-to-face in the mornings and I Zoom all afternoon. Wednesday has now become a planning day for teachers that can be done from our homes. We call it Friday Junior. Let's talk about changes to lesson planning. So how does a 31-year veteran who has never taught online make the shift? For years and years, my lesson plans consisted of a statement put into a small box for each period I taught. As I gained more experience, I became good at looking at that statement from year to year, and I knew exactly what I was going to do for that class. Our district never really required lesson plans up until maybe 4 years ago. From that point on, we were to type our weekly lesson plans and submit them to our supervisors. Although this was a major inconvenience, it forced me to get organized. COVID has changed that as well. Our district uses a platform called Schoology. It's like Facebook, but it's for school. My pages for my classroom are far from perfect, but I've been putting materials online for about 3 years now, so I'm getting better. The challenge with lesson planning is that each teacher is now being required to have an agenda on the homepage of their Schoology for each class they teach. This so-called agenda is our new lesson plan form. Since August, our district administration has changed the requirements for these agendas no less than 7 times. Each change has turned into hours and hours of work for me. It's now November, and my agenda remains to be a work in progress as I tweak it continually. So you understand, agendas must include the following: an overview of the week, essential questions for each lesson, daily explanations or plans for what the kids are required to do with links to those requirements, activities for asynchronous days, that is, times students don't see a teacher, activities for Zoom classes, a link that goes right to my Zoom sessions, a video link on each asynchronous day where students can watch me explaining what they need to do and what they need to complete on that day. So what are the challenges with teaching the hybrid model and implementation? By shifting to a hybrid model, I am now forced to teach face-to-face and through Zoom 4 days a week. I see the same kids twice a week, once live and once through Zoom. I teach students who have chosen to go to virtual learning twice a week as well. This changes daily as students with the last name of A through K come to school on Monday and Tuesday to complete their 9-period rotation. In the afternoon on those days, I teach students with names M through Z along with the virtual kids. My biggest challenge with this was primarily learning the schedule. Being an older teacher, it takes me longer than most to learn the students' names. This was even tougher for me only seeing students twice a week. Planning has been very different as teachers are completely regimented. We all think our schedule is the most important, and we have to cover everything completely from A to Z. Letting go of that was hard. See, we no longer are in control of what we cover. COVID is. This year, more than any other year, I have to evaluate my curriculum weekly to see what is important and what can be left out. Thankfully, I have colleagues that teach the same courses and we can meet to accomplish this, socially distanced, of course. Other challenges relate to the students. I teach 3 different academic levels. AP, or Advanced Placement, is full of overachieving students who meet every deadline and will complete everything and anything I ask of them. My challenge is to prepare them as best as I can for the national exam in May. Along the way, I have to cut out information that may not be on the exam, but still cover nearly 600 years of history. I also must plan asynchronous lessons that challenge them. I have 2 level 2 history classes that are considered college prep. These students are mostly motivated, but still need the extra prodding to stay on task and meet deadlines. These students are more prone to not actively participate while on Zoom. They don't respond to my questions, and honestly, I can see them using their phones while I'm teaching. My level 3 students are lower level or underachieving students. These are the ones who really don't care much for school. A hybrid model or full virtual model is not effective at all for these kids. Many of them have IEPs and receive some type of special education, and coming to school 5 days a week not only allows for them to receive that support, but it also gives them much needed structure that they require. So let's go back to March 13th and the start of remote learning for last school year. I spent the majority of my time chasing level 3 students to submit assignments, hundreds of emails, hundreds of phone calls, and tons of Zoom meetings with parents, administration, and case managers happened to make these students be successful. It was exhausting and time-consuming. Without a doubt, these students were not built for a hybrid model. They need to be in school all day, 5 days a week. My final challenges with this model stem from the demands of the administration and the decisions that they seem to make or change on a daily basis. More and more demands are being put on the plates of teachers. The changes to the agenda. If a student is failing, we have to call home. We need to attend virtual IEP meetings. We need to monitor and report attendance both face-to-face and in Zoom. So when do I teach? The biggest frustration for me has been this new policy that was put in place that does not allow for teachers to take off late points for anything submitted late in the first marking period. That leaves me with tons to grade at the end, not along the way. It upsets me that we reward those students who take advantage of this. So I asked the administration, what do we do for students who meet deadlines, who come to class all the time, whether live or on Zoom, who do every single thing we ask of them? I'll let you know when that answer comes. So let's be positive. It hasn't all been frustrating. This old dog has learned some new tricks. I have never been afraid of technology or the use of programs or applications in my classroom. I just never wanted that to drive my instruction. With the help of younger teachers, I believe my agenda has become a work of art, and I'm very proud of them. I also have become pretty good at using technology. I'm pretty good at using Zoom. I'm learning day by day, but I actually enjoy meeting with students in Zoom and interacting as best as we can given our current situation. What I seem to enjoy most about this year is that it is completely different from anything I have done in the 30 years prior. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't getting stale or just felt like I was going through the motions. COVID threw me some lemons, and I'm being forced to make lemonade. Changes I'm making this year will certainly and undoubtedly be a part of my classroom for the next 4 years. And this is exciting for me. It's a challenge and a change, but most importantly, a chance to do something different. I'd like to end with a word on relationships. I pride my career on my ability to make and sustain relationships with students and with my colleagues. I've worked very hard to establish the reputation I have among students. COVID has forced me to work harder to establish those relationships. I have to be creative at getting my students on my side since I see them less often. Being older, I've also been able to mentor younger teachers during this time. This certainly isn't the job they prepared for, and one they never imagined would look like this. If we don't take care of each other and those we teach day to day, none of this is worth it.